My dear, you're so innocent. You don't even notice who's silently watching your heart fall apart. They smile at you, not out of love, but because you don't know you're being used. You think they care, but their silence is louder than your begging heart. You're too pure for a world that feeds on people like you. You trust faces that have already planned your betrayal. They say sweet things so you'll never question their darkness. You walk blind into fires thinking they're candles. You think it's affection. It's manipulation dressed in softness. Your kindness blinds you from the knives behind their backs. You believe apologies more than you believe your own instincts. They lie so beautifully, and you believe them because you want to. You confuse chaos with love and silence with safety. They broke you gently, so you'd never notice you were bleeding. You thought it was real. It was rehearsed. They don't love you. They love how easily you forgive. You're too dreamy to see the damage they cause. You gave them the benefit of the doubt, while they gave you scars. You call it love. I call it blind surrender. You protect people who'd never protect you. You keep hoping they'll change. They're hoping you won't notice. You think being good means being treated well. You ignore red flags like they're roses. You deserve love, not lessons in cruelty. Your heart is soft, but so is the fog that hides danger. You romanticize pain and call it loyalty. You see beauty in everyone, except in your own survival. You mistake patterns for people. You still defend them, even when they're the reason you're lost. They keep hurting you because you keep returning. You call it patience. I call it denial. You think ignoring the truth will keep your heart safe. You're loyal to people who would let you drown. You're still waiting for them to love you properly. You keep forgiving what you wouldn't tolerate in someone else's story. They leave quietly, so you blame yourself loudly. You think your love can fix what's meant to break you. You call them misunderstood. I call them dangerous. You water dead plants and call it devotion. You believe their chaos is depth. You're addicted to their apologies more than their effort. You think they're deep. They're just damaged. You believe words. I believe patterns. You give more than you notice you're losing. You feel seen by someone who only sees your silence. You keep swallowing pain, hoping it turns into peace. You think time heals, but time just reveals. You see potential, I see patterns. You assume everyone has your heart. You keep rewriting the same chapter, calling it growth. You think their silence is peace. It's power. You were taught to stay even when it hurts. You wait for closure from someone who thrives on your confusion. You keep calling trauma love, because it feels familiar. You confuse loyalty with self-betrayal. You think healing means tolerating more. You defend their absence like it's love. You think pain means it's real. You think your sacrifices will earn their soul. You ignore the storm because you fell in love with the lightning. You think your silence will teach them. It only comforts them. You keep their secrets better than they keep your heart. You believe the version of them that only exists in your dreams. You stay quiet to avoid breaking things that are already shattered. You think they'll understand if you love them enough. You see growth. They see control. You confuse obsession with passion. You think they're healing you, they're distracting you. You mistake longing for connection. You think if you shrink, they'll stay. You soften yourself for people who crave your fire. You think you're being patient. You're being erased. You believe in their future while they erase your present. You want love to hurt less, but you choose pet you recognize. You hold space for people who collapse your soul. You think missing them means they're meant for you. You thought they'd never leave because you never would. You mistake habit for harmony. You think sacrifice is love's language. You confuse survival with soul ties. If this touched your soul, don't scroll, like comment your favorite quote and subscribe for more. You think staying silent makes you strong. You confuse comfort with connection. You think being ignored is a test. It's a message. You romanticize almosts. You lower your standards to feel needed. You treat crumbs like blessings. You say it's complicated. It's cruel. You make excuses for their inability to love. You stay to avoid the pain of leaving. You let them define you, even when they barely know you. You think chaos is chemistry. You wait for signs instead of listening to your own ache. You gave them your light, and they called it a shadow. You love their wounds, but they weaponize yours. You carry their guilt like it's a gift. You still replay their lies, hoping they'll sound like truth. You think their promises are sacred, but their actions speak louder. You think they'll never let you go. You're letting them hold you hostage. You forgive them because you love them. They hurt you because they know you will. You think you've found a soulmate. They think they've found someone to control. You're still waiting for them to see what you gave up for them. You think you're too deep for shallow people, but you're drowning in their emptiness. You trust their words because you want to. You think walking away is weakness. It's strength disguised as self-love. You keep waiting for them to prove they care, while they wait for you to prove you'll stay. You're always fixing them, but who's fixing you? You confuse possessiveness with love, like they're the same thing. You trust the ones who've never given you a reason to. You believe in their potential, but they never show up for your present. You keep giving them parts of you while they keep taking pieces away. You think they'll stay the same. You're changing in ways they'll never see. You think you're breaking their heart, but they've already broken yours. You let their actions make excuses for their cruelty. You hope they'll return the love you give, but they only return silence. You keep hoping they'll come around while they've already moved on. You look for love in the places it can never exist. You think their indifference means they don't care. It means they've already stopped. You're too afraid of loneliness to see how much you've already lost. You think their love is worth fighting for, but what happens when the fight breaks you? You keep waiting for the signs that were there all along. You let them hurt you over and over because their affection is the only thing you've known. You think silence means peace, but it means their absence is winning. You call it love, but your heart is exhausted from being ignored. You're afraid of losing them, but losing yourself is the greater tragedy. You think their words hold weight. Their silence is the real message. You confuse rejection with redemption. You love the way they hurt you because you think it's love in disguise. You believe their love will heal your wounds, but their indifference deepens them. You think you're protecting them by staying silent, but you're suffocating yourself. You keep waiting for their love, but it's been gone for a while now. You hold on to hope, but hope is not what you need. Action is. You think their distance means something is wrong with you. It's because they're already gone. You keep turning a blind eye to their manipulation. You hope they'll recognize your worth, but they see you as something to possess. You stay stuck in what was instead of moving forward with what could be. You give them your all while they give you only crumbs. You think if you love them enough, they'll see you. But they already have their mind made up. You don't realize that giving them your heart means leaving little for yourself. You keep thinking they'll change, but they only change how they treat you. You believe your patience is a virtue. They believe it's their advantage. You think the love you give will be returned. It isn't. You still see the good in them, while they see only what you can give. You confuse holding on with being strong. You think staying is the answer, but it's the question that needs to be asked. You believe in love's promises, but they just believe in your loyalty. You're giving them everything, but they're taking it all and leaving nothing. You think if you hold on long enough, they'll return. They're already gone. You hope they'll apologize, but they'll never realize the depth of their wrongs. You believe they're just lost, but they've never looked for a way back to you. You think being patient means being loved. It just means you're waiting for them to hurt you again. You think they care, but they care about keeping you close enough to control. You hope they'll change, but the person who needs to change is you. You hold on to the pieces of them you once loved, while they break more of you. You call it love, but it's just the ghost of love they let you see. You think you need them to feel complete, but you've been whole all along. You think their absence is something to fight against. It's just the universe telling you to let go. You think their promises are enough, but actions always speak louder. You hold on to memories that only exist in your mind. You believe they'll return the love you gave, but they only take what you offer. You think staying is the answer, but it's the hardest lesson you'll ever learn. You confuse needing them with loving yourself. You think you've found the one. They think you're just someone to leave behind. You think you're in control. They've been controlling you from the start. You give everything, but it never feels like enough.